Hello everyone, good morning. Today I wanted to talk about 3 different things we can do to help eliminate that family patterns and that we kind of have a lot, and the that disconnection that we experience in family connection. I know a lot of the times, especially now when we're gearing up for holiday season, we have a lot of anxiety, as I've talked about before, getting ready for the season. And also we have this story rolling around in our minds about what we think is going to happen. Good morning! Instead of allowing ourselves to be more present to what is going on at an event, or moving through things. So I wanted to kind of break this down into 3 little categories to help us kind of bridge that experience we're having to more awareness. And also a little caveat at the end, if you guys will listen through the whole 20 minutes, probably all I'm going to steal of your time this morning, and really work through some kind of fun stuff. I have a special little tidbit of information about what's coming up in the future for our little experience we have today. So stay tuned for that for later. Real quick, let's go right into these little 3 tidbits for you to break those patterns. The first one is becoming aware. It's not just awareness of, your actions, but also the outer element, things that you're seeing that are happening in your world. You have to be accountable for both. Unfortunately, we can't just live in a perception of understanding our own interpretation versus what's going on around us. So we have to kind of marry both of them together. And it takes a lot of heightened intention in this ability to flow through those. So the first thing you want to do is really become aware of letting go of past resentments. And this again is on both sides. Not just your resentments about the way people show up in your life, but maybe the projected resentments that you put on others. And this one's really tricky because sometimes we think we're supportive or helping. If you don't love your family and you can't share what's really going on, then maybe, where else can you do it, right? But unfortunately, a lot of the times that shuts down our communication and we start these old patterns of resentment. And people can feel judged. This will block the connection and not make it possible for us to grow together. And I also think it's the major culprit for why people stay stuck in old family behaviors. Like when you go see your parents, or if you go see someone from your past and they remember you back as a little kid and you've grown so much from that point, and they don't know because they hadn't been with you that whole time, right? But it's also a lot about the fact that we have a little resentment. It's an underlining program or an underlining belief system that blocks our connection. So that's a real big one to pay attention to. It's not just how you are behaving, but becoming aware of how we see other people showing up in our lives. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to take ownership of your listening skills. Now this seems so basic, but it's really one of our number 1 traps that we fall into with communication. A lot of the times we're agenda focused. We want our interpretations of what we're experiencing and what's going on for us to be the point that gets across, and we're not using our beautiful listening ears in being able to connect, good morning, on a much deeper level, because sometimes we're not going down a path that connects to where somebody already is at, so we'll miss them completely. So this might look like, when you've had 2 conversations going at the same time, there's a big misunderstanding and it can blow up into this really ugly, heated argument, and miss out on a true, understanding of somebody else's experience and you being understood. So that can help, kind of break the pattern of resentment there as well. Also, if we're not listening with intention, or with, that I call it neutral listening, we can spark up patterns of beliefs deep inside someone that you didn't necessarily mean to trip on. It's kind of like tripping on a live wire. All of a sudden they're angry and you don't even know what you did. You don't even know why they're upset. And that can create this real, feeling of, anger and resentment in the relationship there. And it also can spark some of that criticism, the underlining stories they hear in themselves. So I'm sure we all can relate to that, where we've had times in our lives where we misunderstand or misinterpret and we make it personal. We take it on and we start telling stories to ourselves that we're not loved or we're not accepted for who we are, and we build that all up. But it can also go the other direction again, where you're not listening and the other person can think you're being critical and they can think that you're judging them. It can start off in a whole nother cycle. So that's number 2, to be attention. First of all, be aware of your past, resentments or their past resentments. The second one again is taking ownership of listening with intention. So last one is really obvious, but most of us are not paying attention to this. Really, really being accountable to observation. Real purposely observant. Observant? I think that's the word. We want to make sure that we're watching people's expressions, participating not just in the listening and not just being aware, but that's that element of actually, hello, I love all the hearts and thumbs up, thanks guys. But true observation is looking for opportunities and understanding somebody else's perspective, getting a chance to really, really allow someone to be who they are, where they are at that very moment. So, I hope you're feeling better. I just saw one of my friends who's not doing so well. They're in the hospital, so I hope they're doing a little bit better. Sending you love. So I know that a lot of the times when we're in this space, we start feeling deflective or defensive, and a lot more feeling someone's trying to control us. But we can also project this out. We can deflect and defend somebody's stance by not being aware and open to what's going on for them. So we really need to take advantage of these opportunities and be present. Don't be agenda focused and getting to the end or trying to get your thoughts across, and really have that opportunity to create expansiveness in your relationships. This last one can be seen as control or controlling or being controlled. So these are really 3 very key elements in all relationships that not just during the holiday times we should be intentional about, but all of your relationships throughout your life. So you really want to make sure that these things are dialed in real tight and you're being intentional in all aspects of your communication. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to read at the same time as these little things are popping up. So I hope that helps you guys have a really, really deep, juicy holiday. And if you're not having holidays, because I know everywhere around the world is different, so I appreciate this awesome medium where we get to connect all over the place. So I hope you can use these tools somewhere in your life that can create really good, expansive connection in relationships and break those patterns of disconnection. So I promise something at the end here. I am shifting this show a little bit, and I'm so grateful I have this amazing group of people that are willing to show up and be here with me live at 9 o'clock in the morning when you've got many, many things to do. So I truly honor this time you allow me to come into your home or into your heart and share some really fun things that I've discovered in my personal journey. So I've decided to dial it up a bit and set up an entire studio, and I'm going to invite some people that I've found very interesting in my life to share with you and do a little interviewing of their, it's basically everyday superheroes. I love people who have done profound personal work and have helped them see things from a different perspective. And so I want to gift you guys that opportunity to hear, personal journeys and personal discoveries along the way. That we're not different, we're all alike. We just perceive things from different perspectives and expand that for yourself. So that's the gift I'm hoping to do in the next couple of months. Take this show to a little bit more of not just me, but a lot of really cool people to share wisdom with. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So that's what I'm hoping to do. Again, I want to really recap those 3 elements, the 3 things you can do to break patterns in your communication and your relationships. And that's going back to being aware of past resentments, both outside and inside, the ones you believe about yourself and the ones you may be putting out on others. Taking ownership of your listening skills, really dialing in, trying to be aware of when you create, criticism, or maybe you're feeling criticized, and really play with that. The last one is purposeful observation. looking for opportunities to understand each other and really allow someone to be who they are. So thank you so much for this time today. I know I wanted to steal just a little bit. I know I've only been here for a very short period of time, and I really want to expand that opportunity to create a new space for us to play. So hope you all have a wonderful day, and namaste.